Okay, so now for more on this, we're joined by Captain Musa Nuhu, the Director General of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority. Captain, thanks for joining us on Newsnight this evening. First, let's start with how do we explain or help us understand what was it that led to the Azman, the decision to take the license off Azman?
Well, I'll start by thanking you very much for having me here today to speak on the Azman. First and foremost, I'd like to wish the workers a happy Workers' Day. The decision to suspend Azman was not an easy one. We had quite a few meetings. I had quite a few meetings with my top management to discuss with the issue of Azman after they had quite a few number of incidents, almost the same type of incidents that became worrying, and we had to investigate and see. And what we found out was a bit discerning, was a bit worrying, so we had to take action to ground the airline as to avert a disaster. You know, what we found out, the accident chain was in progress. I was almost close. We had to break it, you know, before we had an accident. In your preview, you mentioned well, the last major air crash in Nigeria was almost 10 years ago, and we like to keep it going that without any major air crash. An air crash really does destabilize the system. It creates a lot of havoc. People lose their lives. You cannot quantify a life lost. So our whole purpose was for the safe operations of the industry and to give customer confidence in the system that whenever they're in the aircraft, they are sure that the Civil Aviation Authority has done all within its authority to ensure safe and secure flight operation.
Well, Captain Nuhu, it took us about 6 weeks between the suspension and the lifting of it. And can you confirm to us that the concerns that were raised by the NCAA, especially on the 737 air fleet that Azman has, all of those concerns have now been sorted? Can you confirm that to us, that Azman Air is safe to fly?
Well, what I can say, we did our audit. We had what you call 17 level 1 findings. Those are of very serious concerns, and level 1 findings must be resolved immediately before we allow any airline to fly. Of all those 17 airlines, we had quite a series. My team had a series of meetings with the airlines. We showed them our findings, our audit findings, and they developed root cause analysis and proposed corrective action plans. We did that about 5 times before they submitted what was acceptable to the authority, and they had to show us of evidence of implementation, which they have done. So as far as we're concerned, as regards to this issue, all the concerns raised by the audit have been resolved by Azman Airline.
Just out of curiosity, Captain, how many strikes does an airline get before you take a decision and say license withdrawn because you're not safe? Is it a case of 1 strike, 2 strikes, 3 strikes, incidents? How many incidents?
Well, it could be 1 strike. It depends on the severity of the incident. It could be one major one that is of absolute concern. Safety is in immediate danger of being compromised, and we take action. In the case of Azman, we had 3 series. They had issues with their tires and takeover landing, and it was becoming a big concern to us. They had 3 major incidents within a period of 1 month, and our investigations did reveal some other issues that we believe led to this incident. So we had to ensure all those underlying root causes were resolved. You know, we don't just deal with the symptom. What is causing the problem has to be resolved. And for now, Azman has developed corrective action plans, which they have implemented and which the authority is happy with. So we've lifted the suspension on the B737 fleet.
And, you know, the record right now, almost 10 years on, not even a single crash in Nigeria, which is quite, you know, incredible, going by our records prior to that time with all of the crashes that we experienced. What can you say that we're doing differently, you know, to make our airspace safer for every flyer now, beyond Azman Air, just generally in the country?
Well, it takes a lot of effort by all the parties, all the stakeholders concerned. But the major responsibility is on the Civil Aviation Regulatory Body, the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, to ensure that all operations are within the extant regulations and all international standards and recommended practices are complied with. All our regulations are complied with. It's a huge job because ANCA not only oversights the airline, oversights all the other service providers, including the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, Nigerian Airspace Management Authority, and other government agencies. So it's a huge responsibility, but we need the cooperation and collaboration with the entire industry for us to be able to achieve this safety. We've done it over almost 10 years, and we keep to maintain it into the foreseeable future. Decisions to ground an airline, it's not an easy decision, it's a very difficult decision.
The cry of a lot of Nigerians at the moment is the fact that economy class ticket is selling for 90, 100,000 naira in some cases. What's going on in the sector? Because the allegation by some people is that most of the airlines have sent out their aircraft for servicing, and for that reason they're having challenges being able to fly all routes the number of times they used to. Help us understand it better. Thank you. We've got just about a minute.
Okay, quickly, it's a combination of factors that make the air tickets very, very high, ridiculously high in some cases. Part of what they said is true. A lot of the airlines are operating under capacity, as most of the aircraft have gone for maintenance, and they're having difficulty securing foreign exchange to service, to pay for this maintenance of this aircraft. And in addition to that, there are a lot of inefficiencies in the system that create unnecessary avoidable costs which the airlines will have to cover. So it's a combination of factors, and also coming out of the COVID, the demand for flight is picking up between certain cities in Nigeria. So all this combined together to make to create the sharp hike in
because the aviation sector was one of
the
the hardest hit sector during the pandemic, and it's still being hit. But we still hear that the Nigerian airspace is still very lucrative, with much more investments coming in. But we'd have to say thank you so much to you, Captain Musa Nuhu, for joining us tonight on the program.